You've felt it before. That moment when someone looks at you and knows they've distracted you, they've pulled you into their orbit, and you let them. You don't notice it at first. A question here, a favor there, a subtle pull on your time, your energy, your attention. By the time you realize, your focus isn't yours anymore. It's theirs. That's when you lose. Power is not taken in some grand scene. It's bled out of you in seconds you don't protect. They don't need to outthink you, outwork you, or overpower you. They just need to scatter you, keep you reacting, feed you noise until the signal is gone, and they'll do it with a smile. You think the danger is attack. It isn't. The danger is dilution. You can fight an enemy you can see. You cannot fight the one you've already invited into your head. The one who knows exactly how to pull your focus off the thing that matters most. Ruthless focus is not a skill. It's a weapon. One you either wield or get cut by. It isn't about working harder or chasing more. It's about subtraction, cutting off anything that feeds on your attention without giving you power back. But you won't do it not yet, because you still believe you can split yourself and win. You still believe you can keep everyone happy and still keep yourself whole. You can't. People will call you cold for it, unreachable, obsessed. They'll whisper about how you've changed, and they'll be right, but they'll never admit why it bothers them. It's not that you're cold, it's that they can no longer move you. There is a law to this old, brutal, and exact. It's the law of every empire that held power longer than its enemies. Machiavelli wrote it without mercy. To keep control, remove the cause of distraction, not manage it, not negotiate with it, remove it. The ones who obey this law are feared, not because they hurt anyone, but because they cannot be pulled off course. They don't bite at the bait. They don't answer every call. They are absent where others are desperate to be seen, and present only where it changes the game. If you feel that sting in your chest right now, it's because you know you've been bleeding focus for years. And the worst part? You can name the people who've been feeding on it. You can pretend you didn't hear this. Or you can keep listening and see who you become when nothing owns your mind but you. If you're ready, stay. If you're not, you'll still remember this voice when you're wondering why nothing ever changes. Subscribe if you want more truths no one else will say to you, but be warned, they won't make you comfortable. There's a reason you feel exhausted when you've done nothing. It's because you've been fighting invisible wars. Every distraction is a skirmish. Every pointless conversation, every manufactured crisis, every quick question, a small incision in your mind. And they never stop cutting. You keep thinking the enemy is loud. It's not. The real enemy is patient, quiet. They know you'll see through the obvious attack, but you won't see through the slow drip. They'll frame their interruptions as connection, their delays as emergencies, their noise as opportunity. And you'll thank them for it, because it feels alive. But aliveness is not progress. It's movement without destination, and the more you chase it, the more they own you. Most people never see the game. They confuse activity with power. They fill their days with 1,000 small fires, proud that they're always needed. They don't notice the truth until the years are gone. They were never building anything. They were just keeping other people's plates spinning. You think focus is about discipline. It's not. It's about allegiance. You can only be loyal to one thing at a time, and if you're loyal to everything, you're loyal to nothing. Look at the ones you've admired from a distance, the ones who seem untouchable. Notice how absent they are from the things that waste other people's hours. They are not hard to reach because they're hiding. They are hard to reach because they've decided who gets their attention, and no one else makes the list. This is where the first cut happens. Not with people, with yourself. You stop entertaining every spark of curiosity. You stop proving you care by answering instantly. You stop giving away your presence to anyone who knocks on the door of your mind. It will feel unnatural at first. You've been trained to be available, conditioned to treat other people's priorities as your own. But you must understand that reflex is not generosity, it's control. They've built a version of you that serves them first. You will be tested. They will escalate. The moment they feel your distance, They'll turn up the heat. What's wrong? You've changed. You don't seem like yourself lately. These are not questions. These are fishing lines cast into the waters of your mind. If you bite, you're back on the hook. And here is the thing they will never admit. They liked you better scattered. Because when you're scattered, you're predictable. Predictable people are easy to manipulate. When you stop answering every pull, you'll watch something shift. Not in them, in you. You'll feel space where there was once chaos. Your thoughts will move slower. Your actions will carry weight. You will not rush to prove anything, because you'll finally understand that attention is not free. The first cut is this. You will never again give your focus to something that cannot advance you. Not out of cruelty, out of self-respect. And when you enforce it, people will accuse you of being selfish. But they won't say what they're really thinking, that they can't use you anymore. If you want to understand how deep this runs, remember this. Empires do not fall when the enemy is strong. They fall when the gates are left open. Your mind is the gate. Every distraction is a soldier walking in without resistance. And you've been letting them. From this moment, you become the gatekeeper. You decide who enters, and most won't. You won't need to announce it. You won't need to explain. You'll simply be elsewhere. Not gone, not hiding, just positioned where you are untouchable. The first cut is the cleanest and the quietest, but it's the one they'll feel the most. Absence protects you. Presence destroys them, but not in the way you think. Presence is not about being loud, visible, or everywhere at once. That's a trick for performers. Presence is about scarcity and precision. The less they can have you, the more they think about you. The less you speak, the more your words echo. You've seen it before. The one who enters a room and doesn't rush to speak. The one who seems immune to the nervous need to fill silence. People adjust themselves around them. They sit straighter. They choose words more carefully. Why? Because that person has no hunger to be noticed. And hunger is weakness. When you're always available, your presence is background noise. People notice you when you're gone, but they forget you when you're there. And so they treat you as replaceable. Weaponizing presence means understanding that you don't need to appear often, only at the exact moment your appearance matters most. The rest of the time, you are invisible by choice. This is how you shift the balance. You move from reacting to orchestrating. The weak will try to pull you into constant visibility. They'll say you're out of the loop or not part of the team. But that's the point. You are not a cog in their wheel. You are the lever that moves the wheel entirely. And levers only move when the timing is right. There is a psychological fracture that happens when someone who craves your attention realizes they can't have it. First, they try harder. Then, they try anger. Finally, they try silence. And in that silence, they think about you more than ever. This is when presence turns into power, because you no longer need to chase, call, or remind them you exist. They carry you in their mind, uninvited. Machiavelli understood this. Kings understood this. The general who wins without fighting does so because the enemy has been thinking about him for months before the battle. By the time they see him, they've already lost. Your presence must be engineered. Not frequent, not predictable, never desperate. Appear only when your impact will land the hardest, when the timing, the eyes, and the stakes are aligned. Step in, strike clean, step out, leave the echo. This is not about cruelty. It's about conservation. You only have so much energy, so much clarity, so much force. Scatter it, and it means nothing. Concentrate it, and it bends the room around you. People will say you're arrogant, that you think you're above them. That's projection. The truth is, they're uncomfortable with someone who refuses to dance for scraps. Someone who doesn't treat access to themselves as an open buffet. The day you stop giving them constant access, you'll see their behavior change. Some will resent you, some will admire you, but all will notice you. That's the paradox. You become unforgettable by not being everywhere. Presence is a weapon, because it turns every moment you do appear into an event. And events move people. They alter decisions. They create ripples. When you have mastered absence, your silence will haunt them. When you have mastered presence, your arrival will unnerve them. And between those two extremes, you hold the rhythm of every interaction. Do not rush this. Do not force it. This is a game of patience, not performance. You must be willing to let them forget you, just enough, so that when you return, it's not as the person they remember, but as the person they cannot ignore. Presence is leverage, and leverage, once built, cannot be faked. Most people think the hardest part of power is taking action. It isn't. The hardest part is refusing action when every impulse tells you to engage. Every day, you are offered hundreds of small invitations to waste yourself. Invitations wrapped in urgency, in flattery, in guilt. Each one is a test, not of your kindness, not of your intelligence, but of your control. The undisciplined take every call, answer every message, enter every fight, and they think they're winning because they are handling things. But they are not handling anything. They are being handled. Elimination is the art of removing what weakens you, even if it doesn't look like an enemy. Especially then, a threat is easy to spot when it comes with teeth. But when it comes with a smile, it rots you from the inside. You already know the people who drain you. You've been making excuses for them for years. You call them friends because you share a history. You call them family because you share blood. You call them colleagues because you share a paycheck. But none of that means they are entitled to your focus. Cutting them off doesn't always mean disappearing. Sometimes it's just refusing to play the game. You don't argue. You don't explain. You don't soften your distance. You simply stop feeding what feeds on you. They will feel it. They will accuse you of betrayal. But that's only because they believed your loyalty was permanent, that you would always pick up, always show up, always fix what they broke. They built that belief because you trained them to expect it. Now you train them again, this time in absence, in finality. You will be tempted to keep a few distractions, just in case. To leave certain doors half open, certain connections alive, certain conversations unfinished. That's your weakness talking. The part of you that fears total isolation. The part that would rather have poison than nothing at all. But elimination is not about comfort. It's about purification. You don't keep the snake in your garden just because it only bites you sometimes. You remove it because it doesn't belong there. When you start removing, you'll notice the noise drops. The demands shrink. The chaos thins. It will feel foreign, almost too quiet. That's the withdrawal. You've been addicted to distraction for years, and you've mistaken it for life. In that silence, something happens. Your thoughts grow sharper. Your moves grow cleaner. You begin to see the patterns in everything: who pulls the strings, who acts out of fear, who is baiting you, who is watching. You stop reacting and start observing. That is why elimination is feared. Not because of who you cut off, but because of what you become without them. This discipline is not a phase. It is not something you do until you feel better. It's a state you maintain forever. You keep the gates closed. You keep the air clean. You keep the noise outside. And when someone asks why you've disappeared, why you're no longer around, you simply say nothing. Let them draw their own conclusions. The mystery will work harder for you than any explanation ever could. Those who remain after the elimination, the rare few who add more than they take, will respect you more, not less, because they'll understand that access to you is not a right. It's a privilege. The rest will curse you, which means you've done it right. When you have stripped away distraction, when you have mastered absence and presence, the next step is inevitable. You stop walking into other people's arenas. You force them into yours. Every conflict, every negotiation, every decision has a battlefield. Most people fight where they're told to fight. They accept the conditions set for them, the time, the place, the terms. They don't realize they've already lost before they've begun. Owning the battlefield means refusing to engage until the ground favors you. It means bending time to your pace, shaping the room to your advantage, making the opposition play by rules they didn't choose. And the more disciplined you've been with your focus, the easier this becomes, because you're no longer desperate to engage. Desperation is the enemy's best weapon. If they can make you rush, they've already set the trap. But when you have nothing pulling at you, you can wait. You can watch them burn themselves out trying to provoke you. You can watch them exhaust their moves while you stand still. Control starts with location. Never meet them where they are strongest. If they expect you in the open, draw them into the shadows. If they expect speed, slow everything down. If they expect emotion, give them stillness. Surprise is not about theatrics. It's about denying them the fight they've prepared for. The powerful understand that environment dictates outcome. That's why kings never traveled without their court, their guards, their banners. They didn't just carry symbols, they carried the frame of power with them. Every audience, every meeting, every battle took place inside their world. Step into it, and you were already smaller. You don't need castles or banners. You need command over the terms. Refuse meetings that are designed to corner you. Decline conversations that begin with accusations. Deny access to those who only want to set traps. If they want you, they come to your ground where your attention is sharp, your allies are near, and your control is absolute. There's another reason you own the battlefield. It exposes weakness. Most people are only confident when everything is familiar. Change the light, change the pace, change the vantage point, and they stumble. They reveal their tells. They lose the rhythm they thought they owned. When you dictate the ground, you dictate the mind. And when you dictate the mind, the outcome is decided before the first move is made. Some will call this manipulation. That's because they've never seen a fair fight. In truth, there's no such thing. Every fight is tilted. The only question is whether it's tilted in your favor or theirs. If you're still believing in fairness, you're still walking into other people's traps. Here's the cold fact. In life, you are either setting the terms or you are playing by someone else's. There is no neutral. When you've done this long enough, you won't need to fight often. Word spreads. They'll hear about the ones who tried to draw you out and lost before they could touch you. They'll hear about the meetings that ended before they began because you said nothing and walked away. You will be called ruthless, detached, even dangerous. Let them say it. They're just telling the world you don't lose on foreign ground. This is not about being untouchable. It's about making sure every touch costs them more than it costs you. That is the unspoken law of the battlefield. And once you own it, you don't just win, you decide which wars are worth fighting in the first place. In the end, ruthless focus is not about becoming harder. It's about becoming unreachable to the things that weaken you. You will notice the change before anyone else does. The air will feel cleaner. The noise will seem louder only because you've stepped out of it. People will come to you with the same old pulls, the same old bait, and you will feel nothing. That is the victory. Not the win in the open, but the silence inside you where chaos used to live. Some will think you've disappeared. In truth, you've only withdrawn from what doesn't serve you. You've removed your hands from battles that don't matter, closed the gates to thieves of your time, stepped off battlefields you never needed to enter. You've made your presence so deliberate that it can't be ignored. Machiavelli's cold law is simple. Control the cause of distraction, or be controlled by it. There is no middle ground, and control is not a declaration. It's a decision you repeat every day in the messages you don't answer, the meetings you don't attend, the wars you don't fight. You won't win by pleasing them. You won't win by proving them wrong. You win by being so focused they cannot reach you without paying a price. When you live this way, the world stops mistaking your attention for something they can claim. They learn it's something they must earn, and most will never qualify. This is not inspiration. It is inevitability. You either cut the noise, or the noise cuts you. If you understand that, you already know what to do next. And if you don't, you'll remember this voice the next time you feel yourself scattering. Subscribe if you want more truths they'd rather you never hear.